The new economy isn't just changing how we work, it's fundamentally rewiring human civilization. Did you know that 65% of children entering primary school today will work in jobs that don't even exist yet?
That's such a mind-bending statistic. And what's even more fascinating is how quickly these changes are accelerating. Just look at ChatGPT. It reached 100 million users in only 2 months, while it took Facebook nearly 4.5 years to hit that milestone.
You know what really gets me? We're not just talking about technological change anymore. The whole concept of value creation is being transformed. Like traditional companies took decades to reach billion-dollar valuations, but now we're seeing digital platforms hit that mark in months.
And it's not just about speed. The nature of what we consider valuable has completely shifted. In the old economy, physical assets were everything. Now, the world's most valuable companies are basically running on intellectual property and network effects.
Right. And that brings us to this fascinating shift from scarcity to abundance. The marginal cost of distributing digital products is practically zero. When Netflix streams a show, it doesn't matter if one person watches it or a million people do.
Well, that's exactly what makes this transformation so revolutionary. But let me ask you something. What do you think are the biggest risks we're not talking about enough?
Oh man, where do I even start? Recent studies show that while digital transformation could add $100 trillion to global GDP by 2025, it might also displace up to 85 million jobs. That's the kind of inequality gap that keeps me up at night.
You know what's interesting about those numbers? They don't tell the whole story. Because at the same time, the World Economic Forum predicts 97 million new roles will be created by these changes.
That's true, but here's the catch. Those new jobs require completely different skill sets. We're seeing this massive shift where soft skills like creativity and emotional intelligence are becoming more valuable than traditional technical knowledge.
And that's precisely why the younger generations are adapting so well to this new economy. Studies show that Gen Z is 3 times more likely to switch jobs and twice as likely to participate in the gig economy compared to older generations.
Speaking of the gig economy, have you seen the latest numbers? It's expected to reach $455 billion globally by 2023. That's a complete restructuring of how people work and create value.
So, what do you think this means for traditional education and career paths?
Well, the data here is fascinating. Nearly 40% of employers now say they care more about skills and experience than formal degrees. We're seeing a huge shift toward micro credentials and continuous learning. Like, the average skill now has a shelf life of just 5 years.
That's wild when you think about how our parents' generation could often rely on the same skill set for their entire career.
Exactly. And it's forcing us to rethink everything about how we learn and adapt. You know what's really interesting? Companies that embrace this new way of thinking are seeing 23% higher profit margins than their traditional counterparts.
Well, that makes sense when you consider how much more agile and responsive these new organizational models can be.
And here's what I find most exciting. We're seeing this democratization of opportunity. Thanks to blockchain and decentralized systems, people can now participate in global markets without traditional gatekeepers. Did you know that decentralized finance grew from $800 million to $100 billion in just 2 years?
Those numbers are staggering. Though we should probably mention that with all this opportunity comes new forms of risk, too.
Oh, absolutely. Cybersecurity threats alone cost the global economy about $6 trillion annually. That's why building trust in digital spaces is so crucial. But you know what? I'm still incredibly optimistic about where this is all heading.
What makes you so confident about that?
Well, look at the pattern of human progress. Every major economic transformation has ultimately led to more prosperity, not less. The key is making sure we're intentional about how we shape these changes. Studies show that companies focusing on both profit and purpose outperform their peers by 42%.
That's such an important point about intentionality. We can't just let these changes happen to us.
Exactly. And for anyone listening who wants to get involved, remember this. 85% of the jobs that will exist in 2030 haven't been invented yet. The best preparation isn't learning specific tools. It's developing your ability to learn and adapt.
Well, that's certainly going to give our listeners something to think about.
Indeed, it will. And remember, everyone, we're not just observers in this transformation. We're all active participants in shaping how this new economy develops. The future isn't something that happens to us. It's something we create together